This will either go very well or very poorly.
Well, we finally reached this point.
Yes, we have.
This is a point I didn't want to reach. I've been trying to avoid it for about 3 years now.
4.
I think. 3 years. It's a very long time. So, I need to touch base on what happened 3 years ago first before I can progress through this. So,
I want to give context for things that I'm about to say in this video. I have some really, really good things and some very bad things to say. So if you are seeing this, I don't hate Mania. I am just very, very disappointed with how she's handled this. I will fill in the gaps that she fails to cover in this video. She probably, I want to hope, I don't know why, I want to hope she left them out for the sake of brevity. But they are very important details.
3 years ago, Mystic Hills, the original, was still a thing. And I rushed the ending of that series. There was somebody who helped me write it, and we had a massive falling out.
What is...
God damn it.
No matter where you are when it crosses your path, you'll feel
Shut
compelled to
up.
see where it...
So massive to the point that there's still backlash to today.
Yes. This is true. We have taken shots at each other for the past 4 years. There was a year break between those. Last year. Actually, it wasn't... No, it was almost all of last year. From October, November-ish of 2021 to October, November-ish. I can actually look at it right now. (10/17), so it was October. I brought the DMs into this last time. I'm not doing it this time. I'm fighting the urge.
I want to make it very clear to begin with that the first season of Mystic Hills, the one without voice acting, the one that was really bad, I met him after that.
This is true. Partially. We knew each other during that as well. We were in the same friend group. We didn't start talking regularly until after that. Just a minor stipulation. Again, probably left out for brevity, so it probably doesn't mean anything.
So, the entirety of season 1 of Mystic Hills was my work. He joined in around season 2 to help me as an editor.
Before. I offered before season 2.
And then I brought him in to bounce ideas off and help me write more. And his ideas were great. I loved them. They were amazing.
This is not entirely true. She's also leaving out the fact I played Adrian. I was the last member of the cast to be added because I fought very hard for someone else to do it. She offered originally for me to play one of two characters, and Adrian ended up being mine by default. I fought hard for someone else to do it. But because she was my friend, I accepted. And anyone that knows me, I don't know if my mic is too high or not, I apologize. And anyone that knows me knows that I very much have a passion for voice acting. I want to be a voice actor, but recognize that I am not the greatest voice actor. I have admitted this on multiple occasions. The main idea for the story was pitched by me, but it wasn't pitched until after we were halfway through season 2. Originally, she wanted to shut the idea down. It took me a long time to convince her that the idea was probably our best approach of making a cohesive story. And it made sense.
There were some I didn't fully like, but I still appreciated all the hard work he was doing. And then at one point, I stopped loving the original Mystic Hills. There was something in the writing, I don't know if it was my writing or his or something, but
It was that it wasn't yours.
I didn't like the way the story was going anymore, so I ended it quickly.
To the detriment of the story. Personally, this is only a minor part of why I'm angry with her. I'm angry with her because we were very, very, very close friends. Over the 3 years that we were really good friends, we became, as I said, very close. Outside of probably one or two people, I probably know Mania the most. Mania is not very good at dealing with people. So, and that became increasingly clear as we went on into production. At first, it was fine because it was a small group and we all collaborated together and talked about it properly. We all jumped in call together and we all talked about it. The cracks began to form in season 3, where communication between her and them was so sparse that everybody was confused on what she wanted. She did not end the season quickly just because she kicked me out, which she isn't talking about. She kicked me out in the middle of season 3 production. The season wasn't even over yet. We weren't even halfway through. There were 9 additional episodes that needed to be finished beforehand. She didn't finish the season because she couldn't get anybody else to turn in their lines. In her words, on time. Which was my other issue with Mania. She operated under the assumption that she was under some sort of time restriction. I and many others tried to convince her to take as much time as she possibly needed to make the best videos. I stand by that. And for the love of God, I hope she learned something about that. I'm sorry. This is still a very sore subject. I am going to be the first to admit that this subject royally pisses me off, probably more than anything else that I've ever had to do in my life. This problem has plagued me for years. It has dramatically altered me as a person. All because of her. So if I seem very short or upset, that is why.
Didn't appreciate that because all the hard work he had done was thrown down the drain, and I completely understand that.
No, you don't. Because I never told her what I was doing to make time to work on this stuff. At that time, I was working at a Cracker Barrel down the road. It was the closest place I could have a full-time job. I didn't start there full-time originally. I switched to full-time because I wasn't making enough money. When we started working on this full-time, I was working 40 to 50 hours a week. By the time season 3 was happening, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. So the amount of time that I had to work on any of this in any way was completely diminished. But I also, during that time, just before this happened, the year before this happened, I took a trip out to meet her in person. We hung out together IRL for 2 weeks. That's how much of a dramatic shift our friendship took. We went from being able to hang out IRL and be on call almost every single night to just hang out or talk about work stuff to no communication, no calls, nothing. It felt like I wasn't even wanted around. And Mania, being Mania, thought she could fix this by inviting me into another project, which was not the reason why I was upset. It's not what I was feeling down about. I was feeling down because she had shut me out. We were supposed to be friends, and she shut me out. So I am leaving it up to you, the viewer, to understand the dynamic that was happening here. I was working 50 to 60 hours a week, making almost no money. at a job that I despised. And the only solace, the only good thing that I had going for me was being able to come home and sit and talk with one of my best friends. So needless to say, I was very stressed and continuously becoming depressed. None of this excuses what happened next. I'm going to say that right here, right now. None of this excuses what I did next. What I did next was awful, was horrible, and if I had had better judgment, would have approached differently.
I know how that feels.
No, you don't know how that feels. You don't know how that feels because you did the same thing that I did. You took ideas from other creators, changed them, and made them yours. I took ideas we thought of together, changed them, and made them mine. Am I saying that Mystic Hills is mine? No. I've never said that. I will never say that. If I ever have said that, it was probably in the first 2 years of this going on, where I was very much mentally compromised and coping with the fact that I had lost one of my best friends.
And that was the start of our downward spiral, I think. I don't know.
You don't know because you shut yourself away from the problem so far, you don't even care.
But we started arguing more and not getting along, and eventually we gave the big old middle finger and went our separate ways.
I left you. Let's make that clear. I left the team Discord. I left the secondary project Discord, which was Yandere School. And I stopped talking to you as much.
And I thought that would have been the end of it until he started posting videos trash talking myself.
So she skipped a big portion of the time frame here. What happened after I left was I was shell-shocked. So I didn't leave her original Discord, the first Mystic Kingdom Discord. I hung out in the VC every single day and met a bunch of different people, tons of people. I interacted with more people than I ever had in my life. So it was a very much big change of pace that was probably good for me at first. But then some of them noticed that I was no longer on the team and asked why. And some of them even recognized me that I played Adrian and were disappointed to know that I was no longer in the project and asked why. So I told them why. It came to a head when she found out that I was talking about it in her Discord. So before she decided to ban me, I left and made my own Discord. I was banned maybe a week after that. As far as I know, I am currently banned in the new one, which is fair. I don't even know. As far as I know, I am blacklisted as a topic in general in her Discord. Meaning that if you say anything related to me in her Discord, she will ban you. Which again, I would say is fair with how far I took things. I issued threats. I issued various other things. I said very, very negative and demeaning things. And I threatened to take Mystic Hills away from her by making my own. Which I spent 2 years working on, which was Mystic Hills Origins. Someone I met in her Discord made this for me.
Or some of my other friends, he would send people into Mystic Kingdom to post videos of him basically borderline threatening.
No, not borderline. I did threaten you. I'm going to make that very clear.
And smack talking, and I was scared because I didn't know what was happening.
I wanted you to say something. That's what was happening. A lot of the things that I did, the 2 years following our falling out, were disgusting, awful, and monstrous. I became a monster. And was horrified when I realized I was a monster.
And I ended up blocking and deleting everything he had people sending in. And he also didn't appreciate that, I guess. I mean, why would you? And
I didn't appreciate it because you would refuse to say anything. It was the same problem I had at the very start. You weren't communicating. You said nothing.
And he would make videos calling me childish and immature, and that I was a...
While at the same time being childish and immature. I did those things. Absolutely.
terrible person using people for my own benefit. And that really fucked me up.
To a degree, that is both true and untrue. But that is how I felt. I felt that she was using all these volunteers for her content to facilitate the idea that anything that we made for her, voice lines, artwork, set maps, anything, skins, was owed to her. And as far as I know, she still continues to view it that way.
because I don't know how I'm seen in other people's eyes. I wasn't sure if people actually saw me that way or if it was only him. And it fucked me up.
No one else would have been able to see you that way because you never were yourself around anyone else.
I was afraid, so instead of retaliating, I stayed quiet. I thought if I stopped, if I didn't acknowledge, maybe it would go away.
If what I was saying was untrue, it would have.
And it didn't. We got to the point where we were in communication again, and
Yes. After 2 years, she skipped over another major important thing. Where is it? It's here somewhere. This video. I made this video. And this was going to be the end of everything. This was my closure project. I worked on this very hard, and I put a lot of effort into it. This was for my 5-year anniversary. I dedicated this video Where is it? I dedicated this video to her because I spent a lot of 2021 reflecting and realizing what a fucking garbage person I had become. And it terrified me. It scared me at how far I went. So this was to be the end of it all. I no longer wanted to talk about her. I wanted to move on with my life. But then she reached out to me. Where is it? October 31st, 2021. she friended me. I spent almost the entire day that day wondering if I should even accept her friend request. So, let me put this in perspective for some people who don't understand. I, who, after doing horrible, terrible things to a person who used to be my friend, really close friend, shut me out, and threw away everything I ever worked on or cared about, I dedicated an entire video that I worked very hard on, and finally decided to close this chapter of my life for good, not expecting anything in return, was then confronted with a friend request from that very person. Now, I have a friend who I will not be naming because he wants nothing to do with this. I have made this mistake before of where I've named people. I will not be naming him in this because he's over it. He's done with it. I'm pretty well done with it too. Who told me the only reason she decided to even have the thought of friending me again was to get me to shut up. And then a series of events happened after that that confirmed a lot of those motives to be true. And it showed me that she had not only not changed, but was getting worse. So I pulled the plug.
He wanted to be friends, but after everything...
You wanted to be friends with me. You wanted to give me another chance. I almost didn't give you one.
He had done all the... I couldn't be friends with him again. And I tried telling him that. And he got mad at me.
No, you didn't. Unless I'm either too far ahead or too far behind in the timeline here.
Me. I told him we had burned those bridges and...
Okay. So no, I jumped ahead. This was the first time I tried to talk to her seriously. And that was to be able to do Mystic Hills Origins properly. I was advised by a friend at the time to do this properly and ask for permission. I did. But then she cut me out. After I got into an argument with one of her friends. And then sometime later, I tried one more time. And it was to apologize. And tell her that I had canceled, because originally Mystic Hills Origins was going to be an animation. I still have an entire folder of all the stuff from that project. I have multiple folders. The document with all my writing no longer exists because I deleted it. The script that I paid someone to help me write was also deleted. And she didn't even try to want to make up for things. And framed it as if I was the one responsible for doing this, for doing everything. Which wasn't true.
We couldn't cross them again. And he got mad at me saying, "We didn't, you did."
You did. Fucking ads. I don't have premium on this account.
We would argue or have very short messages.
You would have short messages. I tried to fix things, and you chose not to try.
I don't know what happened with the last one, but he sent me a picture of a bullet.
Okay, this is where we are now.
And said I was the reason. Happened with the last one, but he sent me a picture of a bullet and said I was the reason he had it.
This is true. The thing with the issue with the bullet is true. But let me put in some more context for this. She knew I had it beforehand. I told her this part beforehand. The 2 other times, I tried to make up for things. I have this because of her. In October, November, around that time of 2020, I got this and had nearly decided to end my life right then and there. Because everything I had worked for, all of my bridges were now gone. Everything I had tried to do was gone. But most of all, I had lost one of my closest and truest friends. And it broke me. It broke me. And would you like to know what she told me before I shared that with her? You're lucky I'm talking to you. That's all I'm going to say. That was the second to last red flag that needed to be raised for me to know that she had not only not changed, but gotten worse. In that one statement, she obfuscated all wrongdoing onto me again. So we were back to square one again. And I will also point out, when we started talking again, never once did we call, never once did we talked about the problems maybe thoroughly, maybe 2 times in text. Personally, I fucking hate talking about problems in text. It pisses me off because it is the most apathetic shit ever. There is no emotion talking about problems when you talk through text. I wanted to talk about it in call so I could hear and understand how she really felt about it. I tried to get that to happen for 4 years. This is the closest that I've ever gotten to it.
And I wasn't gonna let that stress affect me.
You didn't have any stress. The stress you had at that time was you were fighting with another one of your friends who you alienated, pushed out, and stole all their work. That's as far as I understand that situation. And that was what I was talking to her about before she sent me that message that I showed you. I don't think I have to say much more. But I'm going to finish the video. The pattern has repeated. Took 4 years, but the pattern has repeated.
I was probably in the wrong, but I told him, fuck you, when I blocked him.
Yes, she did. And as far as I know, I am still blocked. But, spoiler alert, for those of you who probably couldn't tell, I don't have her blocked. Despite my overwhelming urge to do so, I did not.
I'm sure I'm not in the right here.
This is the closest thing I've ever had to an admission that she did anything wrong in 4 years.
I know I'm not, but I'm not completely wrong either.
No, but you are mostly wrong. Of the two of us, I have done the worst things. But of the two of us, I have put in the most effort to try to fix things. You have done next to nothing.
After that, it was quiet. He posted a video saying he was done talking about me, and I thought we were good.
No, we were not good. We were not good. I have been pissed off about it ever since. But I have refused to let it stop me from being a functioning human being. And to stop me from doing the things that I want to be doing. Make the content I like making. Of the two of us, I don't care about making money on my content. I never have. I would refuse monetization if it was offered to me. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't care for it.
Sometimes I check in on him to see how he's doing. To see if his channel's grown at all since I last saw him.
That's not why you check in on me. You check on me in case I've made more videos shit-talking. Which, to be perfectly fair to her, That's fair.
And I saw a video posted a couple days ago that he was going to rewrite Mystic Hills again. So for the past couple years, on and off, he said he would be writing Mystic Hills Origins or his own version of Mystic Hills. And I wasn't happy about it, because...
You weren't happy about it because the fact that you felt it wasn't your story anymore was the reason you got rid of me in the first place. You cut me out in the first place.
Mystic Hills is my baby. Mystic Hills is what started my channel. It's what's got me as far as I am. And he keeps saying that Mystic Hills isn't mine.
I didn't say that. In that particular video, I never said that.
He keeps saying that I can't stop him from writing a Mystic Hills series of his own. I'd have to take legal action against him to do it.
What I said in that video is she can't sue me, she can't copyright me, and she cannot force me to not publicize or create or write anything related to Mystic Hills. I said those things to cover my ass because she has threatened those things in the past. She has threatened copyright. She has threatened to call my state police to take legal action on me. These are things that have happened before. I said those things to prevent those things from happening again.
And I don't... I'm finally making my decision, here and now. I know he's watching this video, so this message is for him.
I didn't know this video came out until the day after it dropped.
And him alone.
Use my name. I'm going to be completely blunt. Stop pussyfooting around it. Use my name. You know what it is. You're not using it because you think it's giving you the moral high ground. Use my name. I have already been harassed and bullied by members of your community, which I will say right now, you did not send them at me. So that's not entirely your fault. But I have been harassed and lambasted by members of your community, and you never said anything. The only time I have ever gotten any reaction out of her is when I've said anything involving Mystic Hills. Can we all sit here and collectively agree that if I want to bait out a response, I should use the right bait? I've been using Mystic Hills as the bait for 4 years because I want her to talk to me about this shit. It's worked every time. Every time. I've gotten something out of her every time it's happened. But claims the moral high ground because it's her baby. I
gotta... Can't believe I'm doing this.
You should.
I know you're watching. You can do whatever you want. Just so you know, this is the first and last time I will acknowledge you.
That's not true. We both know that's not true. You've had that opportunity for 4 years and you've never taken it. That's not true. We will be at this point again. And it will be because you feel creatively threatened because I mentioned Mystic Hills. This is not the end. Whether or not this video goes public or not, this is not the end. She will always, always, always come back to this point if it means she can flex her imaginary superiority when her stuff is threatened. Which is made up of work that does not belong to her. So imagine the... Let's think of a hypothetical for a second. If this were to actually be a court case, she cannot present these issues on proper grounds because 70-80% of the work that is in those videos, season 2 and 3, were not paid for. She does not contractually own and has no proof of either. So let that sink in with what she's about to say.
Anything you make using the name Mystic Hills will not in any way, shape, or form be related to my Mystic Hills.
Unless I write it that way.
So you can do what you want. You can make your own version of Mystic Hills, use the name, but it's not related to mine.
I'll use the name, I'll use the characters, including your character. I will say that right here now. I will use all of it.
And I want you to know that. Not sure what else to say. So.
Doesn't surprise me. Because she's so used to saying nothing.
I'm sorry you guys had to be dragged into this.
No, you're not. You're not even remotely sorry. Because this problem went outside of us because you wouldn't talk to me about it. So what did I do? I had to talk to somebody else about it. And then the whole team knew about it. And then the Discord knew about it. After that, I made as many people as I could aware of it. Because you would say nothing.
But I needed to get this said. I needed to get this out, and I needed to share the story.
You needed to get this out 4 years ago.
I've had this hidden from you all for 3-4 years. I thought if I hid it, it would go away. I didn't want you guys involved. I didn't want it to affect you. And now we've hit this mark.
We hit this mark a long time ago.
We've hit this point, and there's no going back anymore.
There never was. I don't understand at what point she decided that she could just brush this off as not important when it was such a monumental issue. Not just between us, but with her inability to communicate. Because this is not a problem that has happened with just me. Any member or previous member of her team that you can talk to that is not as close with her as a lot of the core members will testify, yes, she is not good at telling us what she needs or what she wants. It has been a problem for years.
Thank you all for your support. I thoroughly appreciate you all. And I hope that having this story out won't make you guys think any differently about me.
It won't, because your demographics are children and they don't know any better. We're in our 20s, Aurora. I'm in my mid-20s in a couple of weeks. I am too old. Mentally, I would say I'm about 35. I am too old. And I am too tired of this to take you seriously anymore.
Some of you guys might leave. You might think I'm a terrible person.
She lost no subscribers over this video. And she knew that would happen.
His story is different from mine.
Not entirely. There are a lot of points that I agree with. And I've expanded upon those points throughout this video, which is going to be over an hour long, reacting to a 10-minute video. So.
And I know that.
No, you don't. Because you've never talked to me about it.
I'm not going to link him here. I don't want anybody to go look at his channel, harass him, anything.
You should have. Just like you should have used my name. Because it's going to happen anyway. Would you believe me if I told you it has happened? But unlike before, I didn't even bother to read it. Because I don't care what some 12-year-old has to say to an almost 25-year-old man who has a problem with a real person and not an internet personality.
I'm just addressing the fact that this is the last time, the first and last time.
No, it won't. It won't be. The fact you said that just shows not only how little you know yourself, but also how little you understand of this situation. You're going to address it again because you're going to be thinking about it, because you're going to continuously be worried about what I'm doing with Mystic Hills. Don't worry. I'll keep you updated. I have planned community posts for whenever I reach milestones in writing, in finishing plot points. I have several that I've already figured out. And you're going to like none of it because Mystic Hills is yours. And I know for a fact that there are going to be a lot of those virtue signaling cucks who are going to say, well, if it's hers and you acknowledge that it's hers, why are you doing it? Because it's gotten a reaction. Being kind and civil about this situation has gotten me nowhere. I've tried. I've tried a lot. She's tried 0 times. Miss me with that bullshit. I have tried. I am the one sitting here hoping, praying, completely pointlessly, hoping that maybe I'll wake up one day and she won't be this way. That we'll be back to the way we were. Talking. Not typing, not texting, talking. With our words, Aurora. With our words. But I know for a fact you won't do it. Because then you'll have to face the truth that you fucked up just as much as I did.
I will ever acknowledge him. And I want this situation to be done with. I want it behind me.
It's almost like I've said this 3 times in the last 4 years.
I guess the only way to do this is to finally acknowledge him. Give him the attention he wants.
That's not what I want. I want you to talk to me. If we need to argue over Discord for 6 hours to get this worked out, I'll do it. I'll skip work. I'll sit here, listen to you scream at me and get mad at me, because I'll do it right back. But you won't do it.
So here's your attention, bud. Enjoy it, because this is the last time you'll have it.
They don't even know who they're giving attention to, because you never used my name, you won't link me, you won't credit me for anything, and you stole most of what I did for you. I would also like to point out at this point that I didn't even make those videos addressed to her. It was just statements in general that I was going to be doing these things, and then she decided to address me in a video. Those videos are now gone, and this video will either not see the light of day or will only be shared with one person so that I can get this out of my system and never acknowledge her ever again. Because I've been the one giving you this kind of attention for 4 years. 4 years.
One big thing about being a
I waited 4 years for that. And unfortunately, it's the best I'm going to get. It is the closest thing to closure I will ever have on this issue. I played it off to a lot of my friends as that this was enough. Personally, it's not enough. I still want to have a real conversation with her. But since she decided that that wasn't an option at the multiple times I gave her that option, this is what I'm reduced to. This is what I'm allowed to do. Now, I'm going to reiterate here again. I don't hate her. I am upset, disappointed, and angry at her for her terrible decisions. Yes. I don't hate her. I don't wish her any ill will. But I'm working with the cards that I've been dealt. And it's a pretty shitty fucking hand, let me tell you. I have to look at it every single day. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Nothing's going to come out of this. I'm, again, hopelessly flailing, trying to see if she'll ever bother to put in the effort to try to fix this. But I know from experience she won't. So I don't know why I even try some days.